It has to do with every overreaching arm of government is that we've overinterpreted and loosened the Commerce Clause to mean the federal government can get involved with anything. And it's part of our philosophy as Republicans, or at least my philosophy, that government should be local and limited. And if it would, the coal industry would thrive, but we would all thrive by getting government out of the way of business, out of the way of our lives. We would have smaller government, lower taxes. Government, though, is broken. It's broken at all levels, and it's gotten away from us. It is broken so much that I fear for the future of our country. I run for office not because it's easy. It was a 5-hour drive up here today and 5 hours back to Bowling Green. I have 3 kids and I'm married, and I give up a lot of time to do this. Not because it's particularly glamorous. I mean, we'll probably stop at McDonald's on the way out of here. But I do this because I fear the direction of our country. I fear that we could be swallowed up by this deficit. Our debt this year, or our deficit this year, will be 13% of the gross national product. It's bigger than it's ever been, bigger than even during World War II. We're spending money at 28% of gross national product. That means almost a third of the economy is now being spent by the federal government. We are spending money at $53,000 a second. If you want to be frightened, log on to the debtclock.org and look at the debt clock, and it's just spinning out of control. What happens if you get to the point where you personally cannot pay your debts? You declare bankruptcy. A country won't declare bankruptcy, but a country can, in a way, become bankrupt. And I fear that we are on the verge of that. The way a country pays for its debt is they either tax you, or they borrow it, or they print the money. Now, we're taxing people quite a bit in this country, and there's rumors of more taxes to come. But I think we're almost at a breaking point with taxes, and I think they're going to have trouble passing more taxes. So they borrow the money. But we borrowed $800 billion from the Chinese, $700 billion from the Japanese. We won the Cold War, but we even owe the Russians $120 billion. We owe the Mexicans. We owe Mexico $22 billion. Where we were once a great country and we exported goods, our #1 export now is our debt. I think we live in a dangerous time that if we don't wake up and do something, it could be too late.
I agree.
Amen.
To me, though, it's about who you elect, but it's also about the system being broken. The system is broken because we elect people who become your errand boys or your errand girls. I will get you something. Do you need a $10 million center in Pikeville? I'll bring it to you. The problem is it's not our money, and we're out of money. If I make those promises, that's the problem. You need to elect someone who says, I can't bring you any money because we're out of money. You need to elect someone who will say, I'll let you keep more of your money that you earn. I don't want to send it to Washington. If you need more policemen in Pikeville, I'll leave you more money by not taking it to Washington so you can hire a policeman. But don't send me to Washington to send you back money to hire a policeman. Because by the time you send that money to Washington, you send $1 to Washington, you're going to get 50 cents back here if you're lucky. And the way we dispense the money is wrong also. The money goes to those who have the most seniority. It's a system of graft based on seniority. You got Robert Byrd right across the state line over there. He's been there 50 years. They've paved almost every inch of West Virginia. But they do it based on his seniority, not on the quality of the project. But it's not just Democrats. You've got Republicans in Alaska. They've run Alaska for 20 years. There are a couple of congressmen and senators who've been up there 30 and 40 years. You remember the road to nowhere that everybody was talking about during the presidential election? That was an earmark done by Republicans. So there's a lot of bipartisan blame to go around, and it's also why you need to send most of them home. You need to have term limits, and you need to bring them home. Term limits, I think, would reverse some of the earmarking process, some of the pork barrel projects that are based on seniority, if you brought people home. I think there's no reason why they couldn't have 2 6-year terms in the Senate and 6 2-year terms in the House. It's a big contrast in the Republican primary for me and my opponent. My opponent is a career politician who looks forward to the rest of his life in Washington if he can get there. But he's going to have to get beyond something. He's going to work hard to present a message that I think appeals to the people. the idea of limiting their terms, the idea of having people who have been a small businessman, have been a physician, who live in Kentucky and have no desire to go and live in Washington but want to remain in Kentucky or to go and serve for a while and come back home and live under the laws. They become corrupted by the system, Republican and Democrat, the longer they're there. The farther they are away from the normal lives that we all live. You need to bring most of them home regardless of party.
Amen.
As we move forward in this, we're surprising a lot of people in our campaign. I started out with virtually zero name recognition 2 months ago. We started out 11 points behind the poll in the polls a month or two into that. But the last poll that came out a couple of weeks ago shows us 3 points ahead in the Republican primary. This is against a guy who's never done anything except for run for office his entire life. What that shows you is maybe not anything particular about me, but it says that our message, if you agree with this message, is popular and that people are tired of the same old politicians telling us the same old thing to further their careers. We have to change things. I think we are on a precipice as a country that if we don't do it, we're in for real problems. I hope you will join me in trying to win this seat for us. And at this point, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out on a weekday night. Thank you.